Okay, we have to start with a confession. Be honest. Did you hit your step count goal today? Maybe 8,000, maybe even 10,000 steps? Only to collapse onto the couch later, feeling vaguely like you kind of failed somehow. What if I told you the problem wasn't the steps? Maybe. But the metabolic sabotage happening on the couch, and that your maybe aimless wandering might have been a waste of perfectly good shoe leather.
It's a harsh truth, yeah. We often think of walking as, super basic, just movement. But the research, it shows it's actually a powerhouse. It's not just exercise. It's like this potent multi-system medicine. When you optimize it, walking cuts stress, clears cortisol, boosts your immunity, helps digestion, sharpens your brain. It really is a cheap, accessible, like full system reset button.
Absolutely. So we're here today to kind of ditch the idea of the slow, meandering stroll, this deep dive. It's all about efficiency, speed, intelligence. We are breaking down the whole hierarchy of steps, figuring out the crucial minimums, and maybe uncovering some secret moves that turn a casual walk into, like, a biological superpower designed just for you. Let's unpack this blueprint, get into the nitty-gritty of better movement.
Okay, first things first. We need to define the floor, the baseline. And the research is pretty clear here. The immediate danger zone, that's where chronic disease risk starts actively creeping up. That's anything below 2,000 steps a day, roughly a mile. That's basically the baseline of biological failure. You really, really want to avoid living there.
2,000 steps. Wow, that's the danger zone. That's like walking around your house a few times and maybe grabbing the mail, right? So where do we start actually earning a reward? Where does the body go, finally, thank you for moving?
You start getting some minimal cardiovascular rewards. Around 4,500 steps. That's just over 2 miles, but, and there's a big but, if your goal is significant health gains, longevity boosting stuff, the results that dramatically lower your risk of dying early, you have to aim for the sweet spot. And that's just past 7,000 steps.
7,000 steps. Okay. I like calling that the minimum wage of wellness. Like, that's what you absolutely have to hit just to keep the metabolic lights on. But
Yeah.
here's the villain of our story, right? The great nullifier,
Yeah.
sitting.
The sitting paradox is maybe the most frustrating finding. So many people think, okay, I took a great 30-minute walk, I'm good. Then they sit for 8 hours. It doesn't work like that. Prolonged sitting causes these metabolic changes. It reduces the activity of an enzyme called lipoprotein lipase, LPL. It's critical for fat metabolism. So even if you hit your 7,000 steps, if you immediately transition to, say, 4 hours of continuous sitting, you severely blunt, maybe even nullify the cardiovascular and metabolic payoff from that walk.
Wow, so you're basically running a sprint, only to cross the finish line and immediately inhale the celebratory cake. You did the work, but then you metabolically wiped out the entire advantage, just sitting there. We have to treat sitting like the active enemy of our movement benefits. It's plotting against us. Okay, speaking of metabolic advantages, let's pivot. Let's talk about a really critical benefit walking provides. Managing that post-meal blood sugar spike, that rush.
Oh, this is huge. Non-negotiable optimization, really. Walking right after eating helps shuttle that excess sugar out of your bloodstream and gets it into your muscles where it can be used for energy. Think of your muscles like hungry little vacuums. They need movement to open up and suck up that glucose floating around.
Right. And let's be super clear here. For anyone looking for a loophole or a cheat code, we are talking about efficiently managing the fuel you do take in. This is not a free pass for extra dessert, thinking you can just walk it off later. It's damage control, not damage escalation. Yeah.
Precisely. Exactly. Now, this brings us to the morning strategy. This is incredibly powerful, especially if you're dealing with insulin resistance or trying to prevent it. You asked earlier about timing. Why not just walk after dinner?
Yeah. If I ate a big meal at 7 p.m., isn't walking at 8 p.m. just as good as walking at 8 a.m.? What's the difference?
Not quite the same, especially for prevention. See, when you wake up, your liver's been busy all night making glucose. That's partly why some people have higher blood sugar in the morning. So going for a walk first thing, it's incredibly efficient. You're immediately burning off that excess glucose that's already circulating. You stop it from being stored as fat later. You're basically tapping into a natural energy peak.
Oh, that makes total sense. You're using energy that's already there, ready to go.
Okay, let's tackle the obsession with the scale. Because so many people start walking, they feel better, maybe clothes fit looser, but that number on the scale, it just stalls or even goes up. Why is focusing only on weight kind of counterproductive when you start moving smarter? Because muscle tissue is denser than fat tissue. It takes up less space, but weighs more. As you walk briskly, you increase muscle mass that weighs more. So you might be losing inches, shrinking that dangerous belly fat, but the scale doesn't budge or goes up a bit. The real enemy we're fighting here isn't just weight, it's visceral fat. That's a deep, dangerous fat packed around your organs. That's the stuff driving inflammation and metabolic disease.
Not the subcutaneous stuff, the fat you can pinch right under your skin.
No, exactly. The deep stuff. And look, the most accurate, simplest way to track if you're losing that dangerous fat. Measure your waist circumference, right at the level of your belly button. If that number is going down, you are absolutely winning the health battle. Forget the scale for a bit. Focus on the tape measure. Okay, so to really maximize walking, we need to shift gears, move from just, aimless activity to strategic movement. The first optimization is timing, walking in a fasted state.
Right. So skipping the morning bagel, maybe grabbing some water and hitting the pavement.
Exactly. If you walk during a fast like first thing in the morning, maybe before noon, your body's forced to tap in to stored body fat for energy much faster. This really amps up your fat loss results. And hey, here's a little bonus tip for the real optimizers out there. Drinking water mixed with a splash of apple cider vinegar beforehand. It can actually help modulate your body's blood sugar response, potentially aiding the process.
Interesting. But okay, timing isn't the whole story. Speed. You gotta talk speed. It feels so basic. But brisk walking versus slow walking, that's the difference between a real workout and just like wandering through a shopping mall, isn't it?
Briskness is paramount. Absolutely crucial. Walking briskly gives you significantly better metabolic and cardiovascular results than walking slowly. Even if you walk the exact same distance, hit the same step count. It is efficiency over duration every single time. But the biggest time saver, the real game changer, that's the interval method.
Ah, yes. Tell us about the Japanese study, the one that sounds like a total cheat code for busy people.
Okay, so this was a 2017 study out of Japan. It basically proved you don't need hours for a great walk. Their method, it's built on intermittent stress. Little bursts. You alternate 5 cycles of 2 things. 3 minutes of walking fast, like a genuine heart-pumping effort, followed immediately by 3 minutes of walking at a normal, comfortable recovery pace. You repeat that cycle 5 times. Total time investment, just 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay, and the payoff. Compared to just, regular walking for longer.
The results were kind of shocking, honestly, this 30-minute interval thing. It produced 3 times lower blood pressure and a staggering 10 times increase in overall leg strength. Compared to people who just walked normally for like 90 minutes to 2 hours, it's that stress recovery cycle. It forces your body to adapt super efficiently.
Wow. That is an immense return on investment. Seriously, if I can get basically 2 hours of benefit in just 30 minutes, that changes the whole equation. I actually tried that 3 and 3 cycle this morning just to see. And let me tell you, 3 minutes of fast walking when you really push it, that's a genuine workout. It absolutely crushes a 2-hour stroll in terms of effort.
Okay, now for the final secret move. And this one comes with a bit of a warning label. Walking backward.
Yes. The please don't trip and sue us movement. Why on earth is this awkward maneuver so powerful?
Because it completely shifts the load, the stress on your joints. Walking backward actively strengthens your knees, your ankles, your hips in ways that normal forward walking just doesn't touch. Plus, it requires intense focus, constant balance correction. That significantly improves your cognitive function and your proprioception, your brain's sense of where your body's in space. But please, seriously, find a safe, open space, a park path, maybe a track, not busy sidewalks, definitely not Times Square.
Okay, let's talk about the mental side for a minute. Because walking is like the ultimate stress buster. But I think a lot of us kind of ruin it, right? By bringing our phones, our podcasts, our music.
You absolutely have to commit to sensory immersion if you want that stress reduction benefit. To truly counter stress, clear out that cortisol. Leave the phone behind. Ditch the music, the videos, all of it. You are intentionally shifting your focus away from internal chatter and external distractions.
So that means actually engaging all your senses, yeah. Like really looking at the colors of the leaves, listening for different sounds, birds, traffic far away, your own footsteps, noticing details on the ground, smelling the air after rain. You're basically forcing your brain, your prefrontal cortex, to process the present moment. That naturally calms the nervous system down.
And that state, that true presence, it doesn't just happen instantly when you step outside. For a lot of people, it can take a good 30 minutes, maybe even an hour of walking before that mental clutter really starts to dissolve and the stress reduction genuinely kicks in. You got to give it time.
Okay, now let's get into some next level stuff. Advanced breathing, or as you called it, hypoxia light. We're talking about maximizing oxygen efficiency while we're moving. How do we start?
Start simple. Default to nasal breathing. Breathe through your nose as much as possible, even during the brisk parts if you can manage it. See, breathing through your nose increases the retention of carbon dioxide, CO2. Now that sounds weird, right? Counterintuitive. But retaining a bit more CO2 actually helps your body release oxygen more efficiently from your blood cells into your working muscles. It's called the Bohr effect.
Huh. So we're basically training the body to get better at using the oxygen we already have, not just taking more in.
Exactly. Then you can progress. Try coordinating your breath with your steps. Like inhale through your nose for 3 steps, then exhale slowly through your nose or mouth for 4 steps. This subtle restriction is a mild metabolic stressor. It forces your body to become incredibly efficient with the oxygen you do take in.
And for the real biohackers among us, there are breath holds.
Yes, but carefully. During the slower recovery parts of your walk, maybe every few minutes, try briefly holding your breath after an exhale for just 5, maybe 10 seconds. Doing this periodically can actually trigger specific genetic pathways, improve oxygen delivery further, decrease chronic inflammation, and boost your overall recovery and durability. It's pretty advanced stuff.
It's just astounding how much we can tweak our own biochemistry just by adjusting how we move our feet and how we breathe. That reminds me of the most intense form of movement we talked about for longevity, the sprinting idea. Like that story of the 70-year-old guy who became a world champion sprinter after a near-fatal heart attack.
Right, he used intensity but focused it entirely on hills. Smart. He would sprint up, say, 100-meter hills, then walk slowly back down to recover fully. Repeat maybe 6 times. That short, intense burst, especially running up on your toes on an incline, it strengthens your foot arch, changes your foot biomechanics in a way that regular walking just can't. It builds power and resilience.
Okay, awesome. Let's do a quick final rundown. The major rookie mistakes we need to avoid when we're trying to walk smarter.
Okay, number 1, leaning too far forward. Super common.
Hmm.
Puts nasty strain on your upper back and shoulders. Stand tall. Number 2, wearing cheap, uncomfortable, or worn-out shoes. Your feet are your foundation. Invest in good shoes. It matters. And number 3, forgetting recovery. Overtraining. Don't just walk hard every single day, especially if you feel really sore. Your body needs that downtime to rebuild and adapt. That's when the magic actually happens.
Wow. This has been a complete upgrade to just, putting one foot in front of the other. It's really not about aimless wandering. It's about intelligent movement, efficient use of your time. We learned that 30 minutes of specific, brisk, timed walking can scientifically just crush 2 hours of casual strolling. Huge difference.
Absolutely. Walking, when you optimize it like this, it's the ultimate multitasker. It's fixing your blood sugar, rebuilding that durability, improving your brain function, managing your stress, all at the same time. Often without costing much or taking up your entire day. It's powerful.
So here's a final thought, something for you to mull over until next time. If you've now kind of calculated the incredible return on investment you can get from your feet, maybe the next step is thinking about the ROI on your sleep or your food prep. Where else in your life are you maybe mistaking just putting in time duration for true calculated efficiency? Food for thought.